Hello and welcome. I've had one technical glitch after another, so I'm quite pleased to actually now be live. First of all, I realised I'd set up the wrong type of broadcast. Then, just as I was about to go live, instead of clicking on to the button I needed to go live, I closed down my entire Google Chrome. So excellent start, but hopefully it can only get better from here. So hello, my name is Colette Broomhead, and I'm here to chat to you about the seven steps that I went through to hit 50 views per day consistently on my blog. And really what that equates to is that I started to treat my blog like a business, but I shall go into all the juicy details in just a couple of minutes. I am going to hang around for about 2 minutes just to wait to see if anyone else wants to hop on live. I see I already have someone live. Hello, whoever you are, do say hi in the comments. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes. So while I wait, I am going to just check that I am appearing as I should be. Let's have a look. I've already shared this into my various groups, so everything should be, touch wood, working. Excellent, there I am. So hey to those of you watching live, lovely to see a couple of people live. Do say hey in the comments. Give me a wave, let me know you're here. And as I say, I shall get started in a moment. Now what my plan is to share my screen with you, and I have some slides that I'm going to take you through. So in a moment you will see my screen. Hey Michelle, hey Wendy, lovely to see you both. Thanks very much for joining me live. Just give me a shout if you have any questions at all while I'm going through the slides. Wendy, these will seem pretty familiar to you because they're the slides I used for the webinar that I did a couple of months ago. So you will potentially recognize them. So I think, okay, I'm going to make a start. So I'm going to just share my screen. I've already got this. Oh, it says add extension. I've already got the extension. I'm having so many technical problems. It's very sad. Sorry about this, guys. It's for some reason not letting me share my screen, which is a bit of an issue. And I've got a streaming cold as well, which doesn't help. Hey, I see I've got another person live. Lovely to see some people live. Apologies, I'm having some technical problems for some reason. It's not letting me share my screen, which is a bit of a blow. Hey, Kate. I was just explaining, I'm using this Be Live TV, and it should let you share your screen, only you need a Chrome app, which I have, only it doesn't seem to be recognizing the fact that I've got it, but neither will it let me add it. So I just keep going back into a loop where it tells me to add it and then won't let me add it. And yes, bit of an issue. Share your screen. To share your screen, you need to install a Chrome extension. I have the Chrome extension. Don't you just hate technology? Well, this has not started well. Let me think what I can do to get around this. Let's click on the options. I wonder if I try uninstalling it and then reinstalling it. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's try. Adding. Hooray! Share your screen. Good. Okay, let's share my entire screen. Okay. Hurrah! Now I want to make me little, and I think I press that. Hooray! We're getting there. Guys, is this working for you? Hopefully now you can see my screen. Whoops. I'm going to open my phone so that I can see your comments. I've got all the mod cons going now. It's all working. We can actually make a start. I'm just going to quickly nip onto my page on my phone, and then we will actually make a start. And thank you very much for bearing with me. Okay. Okay. Hey to everyone watching live. I have you here on my phone so I can see the comments. And I now hopefully you can see my screen. I'm sure you can because I can see my screen. Hooray. Oh, well, let me put myself on mute now. No. There we go. Right. Okay, so 7-step plan to 50 blog views per day. Let's make a start. So you are in the right place. If you're sick of comparing yourself with other bloggers and business owners and finding yourself lacking. So this is something that I think we all do and experience, and it's really frustrating. And you're looking around, especially if you're just getting started, you're looking around and you kind of see all these sort of successful bloggers and bloggers talking about the 7-figure salaries they're making and this, that, and the other, and all the thousands upon thousands of views they're getting, and you're putting all work in. You're working day and night. You're up till 1, 2 in the morning and all of that stuff, but you're just not making any progress, and it really feels frustrating. So if that's you, you are in the right place. And if you are fed up of spending hours on your blog but getting nothing back, you are in the right place. And if your current blog traffic is less than 50 views per day, you are in the right place. And if you're basically winging it right now, but you want to build something amazing, you've got a message that you really want to get out there, or a passion for a business that you really want to get going. Oops, sorry, whacking my watch on the table there. Then you are in the right place. Okay. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover how to start managing your blog like a business. How to attract your ideal clients and turn them into fans. And this is really important. I'm just going to take a moment on this one because traffic is only valuable to you if that traffic consists of your ideal clients. I see so many people out there in the kind of Facebook groups and what have you, doing this whole kind of like for like type stuff, because people are obsessed with views and likes, and those are just vanity metrics unless they're backed up, unless they are quality views and quality likes. And by that I mean unless they are people who fit your ideal client, your ideal reader, your target audience essentially. So this is really important. Yes, likes are important, yes, views are important, but only if they are your ideal clients, because otherwise they're not going to engage and they're certainly not going to buy. And that's, at the end of the day, what we're after. And also, finally, you are going to learn today that you are ready now. So you don't need to wait until the time is right. You don't need to get more experience. You are ready now to start taking those steps and to start moving your blog forward and really making a difference with it. So this training is not for you if you're already an established blogger and you're getting more than 50 views per day. So what I'm covering today is very much all about kind of putting foundations in place, and it is for getting those kind of first 50 views per day and really starting to get established. So if you're already established, this may help you, but it's not specifically for you. If your blog is just a hobby and you're not actually interested in using it to create a business doing what you love, then again, you may get some great tips if you do want to get more traffic and so on. But the training itself is specifically focused at people who want to use their blog either to create a business or to boost an existing business. And this training is not for you if you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme. Blogging is not that. Despite all the get-rich-quick stories out there, in order to get a successful blog and in order to build a successful online business, it takes work, and a lot of work, and it takes time, and it is not a get-rich-quick scheme. And then lastly, this training is not for you if you will be offended if I take you through this free training and then chat to you about a wonderful offer I have at the end of it. So let's dive in. First of all, I just wanted to introduce myself. If you are watching live, do say hey. Do come and chat to me in the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to pop those in the comments as well. I will be sort of popping in and out of the comments every now and then just to keep up to date with them. If you find the training useful, then do give me a like or a heart, because it's always nice to see those popping up too. So I'm going to introduce myself first, and I'm going to chat to you first about how my life has changed since I started to treat my blog as a business. So 3 key things have happened. First of all, my family is now coming before my work instead of the other way around. So for the longest time, I have been working in corporate, and before I set up my business, my career always ended up taking priority. It always got in the way of family, and I found myself pushing kind of time with my kids, time with my family further and further to the outskirts of my life. And now I'm able to plan everything around my family. I can do the school runs, I can go to school plays, and do all of that stuff that I was so sad about missing when I was working in corporate. I'm me again as well, so I don't feel trapped. I don't feel constantly frustrated, constantly undervalued, and I feel like I'm spending my time doing stuff that's important, doing stuff that I feel really passionate about, and I feel like I've come to life again, which has made such a difference and made me overall so much happier. Sorry about the kind of sniffing and coughing in the background, by the way. I hope it's not too off-putting. And then thirdly, I'm dreaming again, and suddenly the world is full of opportunities again. I have this business, I have this passion, I have this kind of project that I'm working on that I really believe in, that I'm really excited about. And the possibilities are endless, both within my business, but in terms of what my business can bring to my life. The picture there is of the beach, and my kind of long-term dream is to get a beach house, and that was very much just a dream when I was in corporate, but now it feels tangible, it feels like it's doable, and that's all stuff that's come about because I started blogging and because I started to treat my blog as a business. So as I kind of touched on, my background is corporate. I worked for 13 years for a FTSE 30 company where I covered a whole range of different kind of roles and areas, mostly within marketing. And I had the luck, I guess, to work with people who were at the top of their game, who have so much experience that I was able to gain from, and I was able to see really how it's done in the big leagues, how the FTSE 30 companies manage their launches, how they manage their customers and so on, and it's given me such a lot of insight and experience. So here's a few of the things that I learned from my corporate role. As I say, most of the roles that I was in marketing. I worked in product marketing, email marketing, customer marketing, customer relationship management. I did a lot of copywriting. I created a lot of content for our big launches. So I worked on website content. I worked on email marketing content. I even wrote texts. I wrote app copy, all sorts, blog posts, articles, white papers, a lot of copywriting, which of course has really come in handy with my own business. And I also did coaching and mentoring. So I worked with people within my own company, within my own team, and I helped them develop in their roles, understand what it was that lit them up and where they wanted to go with their own career and how they could get there. So all of those skills I found really, really valuable, and I've been able to bring into my own business now. And then I found blogging, and I saw there was another way. So although I loved my corporate role, it took me away from my passions to a certain extent. And so while on maternity leave with my second little boy, I started a food blog just for fun, because I like writing, because I like cooking, and because I wanted something to keep my mind active. But it turned into so much more than that. So I founded Eat, Drink, Cook in 2014 on maternity leave. And within a few months, I became absolutely obsessed with it. I just loved it, and it gave me so many opportunities. From that, I was able to appear on the Mel and Sue show and do my own cooking slot, where I cooked pizza with Mel and Sue and a couple of their guests, which was great fun. I was writing regularly for an online magazine called Yummy Mummy's World, and I was just having an absolute blast. And then I had to go back to my corporate role after my maternity leave finished. And sorry, I'm so stuffy, I'm so sorry. Again, although I loved my role, I now had this sense of hope and opportunity, that there was something else out there that could be better, and that could be a more exciting way to live my life, and just a way that would lead me to be more happy. And so I kind of strived towards that. And eventually in 2016, I left my corporate job to go full-time with my business. It wasn't my food blog. It was the business that you see now, although in a very different form, but that's an entirely different story. So as I say, I felt like I've put Colette Broomhead was born, and I mean that in the sense that I felt like I had been almost kind of reborn. I'd woken up from this kind of life of following this path, this kind of tunneled vision path that I never had questioned before, and then suddenly realizing that I could live my life in a completely different way. And so my life has changed completely. As I say, now I have time, I work the hours that I want, when I want, where I want. I spend time with my kids, I go to their school plays, I do the school run, and I am so much happier. So you can do it too. And that's not a glib comment. That is something that I 100% believe. And this is the core passion of my business, is that I want as many people as possible who are in that same situation that I was in to really understand that they can do it too. You don't need special qualifications. You don't need like super specific skills. If you have a passion, you can make a living from it online. There are so many different niches out there that I cannot think of one where it isn't possible, that you can do something to change your life and to start making a living online. So with that, before I dive into my 7 steps, I wanted to give you 2 quick things to think about. So first of all, perfection is your enemy, and done is better than perfect. So by that, I mean, it's so easy to put these things off. And I found myself doing it, especially when you're still working a 9 to 5 and your life is busy. And it's so easy to just get caught up in the day-to-day hustle bustle of getting up, going to work, and then you're tired when you get home, you've got to cook meals and all that. And you kind of feel like you're not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I need to wait until I've got more time. I need to wait until I've got more experience. I need to wait until I'm less tired. And all of these excuses that you tell yourself, you don't need to wait. You can do it now. You can start now. Just one small step a day towards your goal will get you there faster than not doing anything. It doesn't need to be perfect, I promise you. If you look back on, or if I look back on the website that I launched with sort of 18 months or so ago, it looks completely different to the website that I have now. I have completely rebranded since then. It was by no means perfect. I didn't really know who I was serving back then, but I kept taking actions, small actions, and gradually these things develop, and and that they improve, and that only comes with taking action. So that is the one key kind of thought I want you to start with. And the second is, it's about taking action one step at a time. So don't be overwhelmed. Don't feel like you can't do this because it just seems like this insurmountable thing that you'll never achieve. One step at a time will take you one step closer each time towards that goal, towards that business, towards that blog that you're looking for. So keep those two thoughts in mind as we go through these steps. So here's what we're going to cover: my 7 steps to transform your blog into a business and to start ramping up those views. So number 1, we're going to be looking at your big, getting really clear on your purpose. Number 2, you're going to start getting organized. This is essentially what treating your blog like a business looks like, is being organized and actually getting some strategy behind what you're doing. Number 3, we're going to look at creating real value and looking at creating content and looking at ways you can start to attract and delight your ideal clients. Number 4, we're going to look at your brand and let people know who you are and what you're about and why they should work with you, why they should read your blogs, and so on. Number 5, we're going to look at creating a community. So actually, not just kind of offering valuable content, but kind of creating that sense of belonging that will bring people back again and again. And then number 6, we won't forget to sell. So if you are turning your blog into a business, and after all, that's what this training is about, then you have to remember to sell. And this might seem a bit of a silly point, because why would you forget to sell? Well, I've put it in here because that's exactly what I did for the first few months of my business. I wondered why I wasn't making any money, and then I realized I wasn't actually selling anything. Yep, total truth. So there you go. So don't forget to sell. So we'll be covering that too. And then finally, my 7th point, we'll be looking at review and repeat. So basically understanding what to measure, what success looks like, and what you need to measure to know if you are going towards success, or if you are veering off the path, and what you should then do about it. So let's dive in. So point number 1, we're going to look at the big picture. And those of you who have done my blogging challenge will recognize this little framework here. I use this a lot. One of the key things that I see missing when I kind of am in Facebook groups and so on, and people are asking for help with getting more traffic, and they don't understand why they're not getting more traffic to their blog. One of the key things that I see happening again and again and again is that people don't have they haven't got clear on what their blog is for. So people start a blog and they kind of and they want it to appeal to everyone, so they have a little bit of everything, and that just doesn't work. You need to get more specific, and I'm going to give you an analogy, which if you've got if you've on my email list, or if you've read any of my blog posts or seen any of my Facebook lives, you may well have heard before, because I love it and I use it often. But there's a reason, and that's because it really explains this point. So I want you to imagine that you are getting married this year, and that you are looking for a wedding photographer, and you have 2 options. So your first option, you go to their website and you see that they do weddings, they do pets, they do family portraits, they do babies, they do landscapes, and they do the lot. And okay, so jack of all trades, shall we say. And so then you go to your second photographer's website, and they specialize in weddings. Their passion is weddings, and really what lights them up is helping people who are getting married to make their day memorable and to capture those memorable moments and make them really special so that they can look back at them always. Who are you going to choose? Of course, you're going to choose the specialist wedding photographer, the person whose passion that is, because that's what you're looking for. And the same applies for you, for your business and for your blog. By being general, rather than pleasing everyone, you actually please no one. Rather than speaking to everyone, you speak to no one. You have to have a hook. You have to make people feel like when they land on your blog, when they land on your website, they have found exactly what they're looking for. So you first of all need to get really clear on who your blog is for. And the more specific you can get, the better, because the more specific you are, the more people will feel like they belong. And you need to get clear on the problem that you're solving. So what is the purpose of your blog? What do people have to gain by visiting? And then thirdly, you need to get really clear on why. So what is the change that solving that problem is going to bring about for those people? And if you can answer those three questions, then you are in a brilliant position to really move forward with your blog, because it is so fundamental. The answer to those three questions is going to drive the products and services that you end up selling. It's going to drive the way you speak, your branding, your messaging, the content that you're creating. It is going to drive pretty much every single decision you make in your business. So if you're not clear on those three questions, you need to really give that some focus before you start moving forward, because otherwise you're going to waste a lot of time creating stuff for people that you aren't necessarily your ideal clients. Okay. Any questions, do let me know in the comments. I'm flicking through. I can't see any so far, so that's great. Okay, so number 2, getting organized. So this is all about kind of creating a framework, creating a strategy to which you're going to work. It's very easy to sit down and just kind of wing it, for want of a better way of saying it, kind of going, oh, I ought to write a blog post today. What should I write about? Okay, I'll write this. And then, or I'll stick it on Facebook, and you know, I just kind of wing it, sit down, do a few bits and bobs, get caught up watching Facebook for, you know, a couple of hours or whatever, and then wondering why you're not getting anywhere. Because you don't have goals, because you haven't created a plan, because you haven't organized your time, and because you haven't committed to it. So let's just look at that in a bit more detail. So first of all, let's talk about goal setting. So with your blog, with your business, you need to have goals, because if you haven't got goals, then you've got no direction. So your goals are what give you direction, and also is that they are what ultimately should drive all your business activities. If something that you're doing isn't taking you closer to your goal, then you question why you're doing it, and if it's necessary, and whether you should be better off spending your time doing something else. And that is how you manage your time. So start at the end. Now, with goals, you will have more than one, obviously. One key goal is your revenue goal. As a business, you need to be setting yourself a target that you want to hit in terms of revenue. And by doing that, what you can then do is work backwards from that goal. And you can say, okay, well, my goal is to hit this much in 6 months. In order to do that, what do I need to sell? And you can then look at the products and services that you have, or create products and services if you haven't yet done that, that will help you to reach that goal. And basically everything will then be aligned towards that goal. you may set other goals as well, but a really key one is that revenue goal. You'll also have the purpose, which is what we talked about in point number 1, which is the kind of more the impact type goal that you want to create. So, you know, and that is this kind of this impact that you want to have on your ideal client. So you may want to set a goal around that too. And again, that helps you focus the activities that you're doing, because you can always be asking yourself, is this helping me make this impact? Is this leading me towards this impact? And if it isn't, again, you know, it allows you to kind of filter out the activities which perhaps aren't that useful for your business and really focus on the ones that are. And then once you've got your goals, you can then start to create a plan. And again, starting off with a kind of big picture plan, you know, what is it I want to achieve in the next 6 months, and then gradually working backwards. So in order to do that in the next 6 months, okay, I'm going to break down that month by month. And then, okay, I now know what I need to achieve in the next month. What does that mean week by week then for the next month? Okay, I now know what I need to achieve next week, and then break that down day by day. And that way, it doesn't seem too overwhelming, and you can gradually get more and more organized, so that you know from day to day what you need to achieve, and you know that it's aligned to your goals, and you know that you're spending your time efficiently. Do give me, let me know if this is making sense. Let me know if this is helping. Let me know if you have any questions. If it is helping and you're finding it useful, do give me some likes, give me some hearts. It's always nice to see those. Okay, and then thirdly, make a commitment, because it's very easy to create a plan. I don't know about you, New Year's resolutions. You know, I love making New Year's resolutions. I make dozens of them. I write them on a bit of paper, and then I put them somewhere, and then I forget about them for the rest of the year. And it can be very easy to do that with your business plan as well. So make a commitment, schedule it in, create that plan and actually schedule it in. Keep the plan to hand, look at it, refer to it, and make sure that you hold yourself accountable, and you stick to that schedule, and you stick to that deadline. So point number 3, and this is all about value. You've set your revenue target. Now, to a certain extent, you need to forget it, and you need to focus on service. You need to focus on really giving value, because your ideal clients, your potential customers, they don't care about how much money you want to make. And if that's all you're thinking about, you are not going to appear very attractive to them. Sorry for the sniffing. So you need to think about how you can really provide value to your ideal clients. What are their frustrations? How can you address those frustrations? There are plenty of ways you can find that out. You can go well, first of all, you can ask them if you already have an audience, no matter how small. Perhaps you have an email list, perhaps you have a Facebook page or a Facebook group, you have Instagram followers. Wherever you may have an audience, you can go and ask them, you know, what are your frustrations with whatever your niche is, and find out. Another great way to do it is to go into other Facebook groups where your target clients, ideal clients, hang out, and see what they're talking about. See, you know, what questions are they asking, what things are they frustrated with, and find out, and start to kind of look for the trends, look for the key frustrations that are coming up again and again. And then create content that will help them with those frustrations. I've put just right content. I hope you like the little pun there. But it doesn't need to be written content. If writing isn't your thing, then create videos, do a podcast, whatever feels best for you, and whatever also your audience prefers, however they prefer to consume. But create content, create value for your ideal clients, so that you can get their attention, so that you can start to build their trust. And then be consistent, not predictable. So consistency is so key for various reasons. one, if you're creating content on a regular, consistent basis, it's easier for you because you get into a habit. It's easier to plan. If you're creating a plan, it's easy to be consistent. But from an audience perspective, if someone lands on one of your posts that they absolutely love, and they want to know when they can expect your next one, if you know that you're posting weekly or you're posting fortnightly or monthly or whatever it may be, then that sets expectations for them, and they know then what to expect. By setting expectations, of course, you can then exceed them, which is even better. So you may say, okay, I'm going to publish a new post every week, but then once in a while, perhaps you'll publish an extra one, a bonus one. And suddenly, rather than that just being the standard that people are expecting, that is exceeding expectations. That's sort of delighting and surprising your readers, which can only be a good thing. So now we're going to talk about building a brand, and this is basically what allows you to stand out from the other blogs and businesses in your niche, because chances are you will have competitors, and if you don't have competitors, that's probably a sign that you're not in a sort of profitable niche, and you might want to look at that. But chances are you do have competitors. So how do you stand out? Why should people choose you over them? And a lot of this will be around brand, especially for an online business where you are your brand, you are a personal brand. And so generally speaking, or a lot of times, people will choose to work with someone based on how well they connect with them, how well they feel in alignment with them. And so your brand is really important because it allows you to kind of reflect that. Your brand is so much more than just your logo and your colours, and I think this is something that not everyone fully gets. And you know, people think brand and they think, oh, my logo and you know, my fonts or whatever. And yes, that's part of it, but it's so much more. Your brand, I like to think of your brand as being like your business personality, and so it's what allows people to connect with you, and to decide whether they do want to work with you or with your competitors. And if they choose your competitors, that's fine, because that probably means that they're more in alignment with those people and they're not actually your ideal clients. So ways you can build a brand. A really, really key way is to share your story. People want to work with people, not businesses. And we're nosy at the end of the day. So share your story, give some background, let people know where you've come from, let people know why you're doing what you're doing, why you are passionate about it. And I've put everyone loves a story. And this is more so than any kind of catchy tagline or advert. People remember stories. So if you can tell a great story about your business, that's what people will remember, that's what people will connect with, and that's what people will share with other people. So stories are super important when it comes to building your brand. Secondly, I've put be vulnerable, and this goes back to my earlier point about how you don't need to be perfect, and in fact sometimes perfection can be quite off-putting. People like to see that you're not perfect. People like to see that you are just human, because you don't want to work with someone who's going to intimidate you, and you're not going to read someone's blog if they intimidate you and if they seem absolutely perfect. You want to be able to connect with them. You want to feel like they're human. So let people in, let people see your vulnerabilities, let people see behind the scenes. And there's great ways of doing that. I like to use Instagram stories. I've been a bit rubbish at it recently, but I like to, occasionally just let people know what I'm up to. Let people see me without my makeup on, and just people see that I am human. I'm not, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I feel vulnerable, and I'm just like everyone else. And actually, that helps people connect with you. It doesn't drive them away. And then thirdly, be recognizable. So this is the kind of more, I guess, accepted view of what brand is, and this is more about being consistency both in how your brand appears, so your colors, your fonts, and all that kind of stuff, even the types of images that you use, and then things like your tone of voice, the way you speak, the way you write, being consistent with that. What you're aiming for is that, so when someone sees a post of yours, they automatically just recognize it as yours just by the way it looks and by the way it sounds. And if you can do that, you will start to get a really strong brand in place. And then create a community. So yes, you give people value, but what you want is to create that sense of belonging, and that's what brings people back. That's what makes people fans, and that's what's so important. So you don't want your blog to be one-way communication. You want people to feel like they're part of something. So social media, of course, plays a really big part in that. So I've put choose a channel. When you're just starting out, you really don't need to be everywhere, and there is this temptation to try and be on Pinterest, be on Instagram, be on Facebook, be on Twitter, and do everything, YouTube. And you really don't need to be. And in fact, if you try to be, especially if you are still in a 9-to-5, you're going to really struggle. You're going to spread yourself too thin, and actually you won't really see any momentum in any of those channels, because in order to build a real engaged following, it takes effort and it takes time. And if you're spreading your time over 5 to 6 different channels, it's going to take forever to get there. So focus on 1 or 2. I would always suggest Facebook be one of those, because Facebook is so huge. Chances are your ideal clients are definitely on Facebook, because however many billion of users they have, they're going to be there. So Facebook I would definitely use as one of them, and then perhaps one other channel. And as you get more established in those channels, then by all means then kind of spread your wings and start to get more visible elsewhere. But focus on just a couple of channels to begin with, and you will see much faster momentum, and you'll be able to give more time, more effort to those channels, and in turn you'll get more engagement. Another way to create community is, of course, with your email list. Now, as I mentioned, my background is email marketing, and I hugely believe in the power of email. There's a stat out there that says your return on investment for email, for every dollar spent, you will get 44 on average, $44 back. So email is huge, and it's really worth building an email list. So if you're not already doing that, think about starting to build an email list. It's a great way to have a conversation with people, and to really start to build a relationship with them, and to help them feel like they belong, to chat to them, to tell them about where they can catch you elsewhere, and so on. So email list, get on it. And then thirdly, shared experiences. So when you're thinking about things to chat about on social media, or even in your blog posts, or perhaps your about page, or anywhere in your messaging really, think about how you can create that sense of community, and shared experiences is a great way to do that. So talking about experiences that all your ideal clients will understand, because they've been through that too. What I'm talking about, when you read a post or whatever it is, and you find yourself nodding along or laughing along, because yes, you understand exactly what they're talking about, because you've been there too. Think of those experiences. What are those types of experiences that all your ideal clients share, that you can really bring to life and help them feel like they belong when they read them? Okay, don't forget to sell. So I've put monetize now. So this goes back to what I told you at the start, where I had, for the first few months of my own business, I completely forgot to actually monetize it. And I was so busy creating my website and creating great content for people and promoting that content, that actually I didn't create anything that anyone could buy. And then I wondered why I wasn't making any money. Now, it doesn't need to be perfect. So what I would say is, do give focus to building your audience, do give focus to creating that great content, but also get something out there, and it doesn't need to be perfect, and you can develop it as you go. But once it's out there, that's when you can start developing it. That's when you can start improving it. So don't wait. Don't feel like you're not ready. Get something out there, learn from your mistakes, tweak it, improve it, and keep developing it. You may decide to scrap it. You may decide, actually, that was completely the wrong thing, and you may decide to do something else. But you will only learn that. You will only get that experience by doing it. So monetize now, get something out there, and work from there. I've put push yourself. So selling isn't something that most people naturally find easy. And the people that do find it easy generally only find it easy because they've done an awful lot of it, and they do it all the time. And they've pushed themselves out of their comfort zones. They've accepted the fact that they're probably going to get an awful lot of no's, and they've just got on with it. So I think the comfort zone should be a dot to you. So just do it. It does feel awkward, but the more you do it, the less awkward it feels. I once gave the analogy of a supermarket. So, think about when you walk into a supermarket and you are walking past hundreds, maybe thousands of different products, and you're perhaps only going to buy one thing. You're saying no to everything else. Does the supermarket or the managers of the supermarket or whoever go home and weep because of all those no's they got? No, they don't. Of course they don't. And it's the same for you. Of course you're going to get no's. There will be people for whom your products and services aren't right. They're perhaps not at the right time for them. They perhaps don't have the money yet, or whatever it may be. You will get no's. You can't take it personally. Learn from it, get used to it, keep moving forward, and you will get it there. You will get those yeses as well. And then I've put don't push your people. So again, there's this idea that selling is kind of somehow sleazy or salesy or pushy. It doesn't need to be that way. If you have given value to people, if you've developed that relationship, if you've developed that sense of community, that sense of belonging, and then if you have created something off the back of that that is of real value and that is addressing a real frustration that they have, then you don't need to push people. Your ideal clients will be, jumping at the chance to buy. And if people aren't, then there's probably a very good reason for that. And personally, I don't like to push it. You could ask why, you can chat to people about it, but I would hate to feel like I had pushed or kind of bullied anyone into buying from me, because that's not a great experience for them. It's not going to leave a nice taste in their mouth, and they probably won't come back. Where as someone who has been through that great experience, who loves your content, who needs and wants what you have to offer, that is someone who's going to come back for more and more. Don't feel like you need to be salesy or sleazy. It isn't necessary. And then our final point is review and repeat. So understanding what your big picture is and knowing what to measure is really key. So I mentioned earlier on about these kind of vanity metrics and people getting obsessed with likes and with followers and all of that stuff. And it can be very easy to get so obsessed with that you don't really look at anything else. And that's not giving you the information that you need to know in terms of whether you're on the right tracks to hit your goals. So understand what your goals are, and then really get clear on the things that you need to measure in order to tell you whether you are getting towards those goals. I've written a post about this, so if you're unsure what I mean by that, let me know in the comments, and I'll link to it rather than going into huge amounts of detail here. But just understand what you need to measure. Don't get caught up on likes and followers and all that kind of stuff. Look at what your goals are and look at the steps that you set out to hit those goals and what you need to measure in order to know if you're achieving those steps. And like I say, if you want more info, let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure I put a link to my post that I wrote a while back on that very subject. Get feedback. So your numbers are, of course, your quantitative results. You also want qualitative feedback, and basically that's the kind of fluffier stuff that you will get directly from your readers, from your audience, from your customers. So find out, what do they like, what don't they like, what do they want more of, what do they want less of, and keep using that feedback to direct the content that you're creating and the direction that you take your business. And then thirdly, take action. So don't just do the measurements, don't just get the feedback, but analyze it and take action. Don't be scared to make changes if you can see that things aren't going in the right direction. Make changes, pivot, as is the kind of cool term at the moment. Change direction if you need to. I've changed direction so many times in my own business, and I've only been going for about 18 months, so it's fine to do it. And in fact, if you don't, it'll often just lead you further and further from where you want to go. So that's it. Those are my 7 points. I hope you found those helpful. Do let me know if you have. Thanks for the comments so far. Kate, thanks for your comments. Really useful tips. Thank you. Wendy, great refresh course. I'm glad. Hope you found it useful. And let's just quickly review that. Oh, that slide's gone a bit funny. Sorry. So number 1. On your big picture, getting clear on your purpose. Number 2, getting organized, setting goals, creating a plan, and staying accountable. Number 3, providing value to your audience, creating great content for them. Number 4, building that brand, helping to you and setting yourself aside from your competitors. Number 5, creating community, so really giving people that sense of belonging so that they come back again and again. Number 6, not forgetting to sell and to actually monetize what you're doing. And then finally, number 7, so measuring the important things so that you know if you're staying on track, and then learning from those mistakes and changing accordingly. So let's just have a quick step back and have a think join me today. So perhaps you are sick of checking your stats and feeling like a failure because they're just not going up. They're not as high as the people you keep comparing yourself with. Perhaps you feel like you've just been winging it for too long and it's just not working, and you want some kind of plan, you want some a real strategy, or perhaps you've seen other people making a living from their blogs and that's what you desperately want too. I hope this has helped if that's the case, or perhaps you had your own reasons that I haven't mentioned. I hope this has helped. If it has, do let me know in the comments, whether you're watching live or watching the replay. Let me know if there was anything in particular where you had that real kind of aha moment or a little light bulb switched on, because I'd love to know. And I would like to invite you to continue on this journey. My little ticket to smooth sailing all the way there. I hope you liked the cheesy pun. Got to include a few cheesy puns along the way. So I'd like to introduce you to my self-study course blogging class. This is a course that I launched a few months ago as more of a kind of work together course, and we had a lot of kind of live elements. I'm now releasing it again at a lower price as a self-study course. By signing up, you'll get lifetime access to all the course materials. You can learn at your own pace, so you know, you never need to worry about falling behind and not having time to do it at a certain period. You just do it as and when you can. But you do still have the community support because we have a private Facebook group where you can join and chat to fellow bloggers, look for advice, look for feedback, and all of that good stuff. Imagine no more confusion and lack of direction. Actually having those clear steps, being able to kind of get a really detailed look on what it is you can do right now to start making a difference in your own blog, and to actually start making an impact, and no more sinking feeling when you check your stats. And ultimately, my goal for everyone that I work with is that they will be able to quit their 9-to-5 for good and go full-time creating a business doing what you love. So if that sounds good, then blogging class may well be for you. So I'm going to blogging class. We have 5 modules, and in those modules, you will learn to grow your traffic, to increase your engagement, to lead a community, and to create a thriving business. And you get sort of practical steps and guidance to do all of those things. So in module 1 of the course, we cover going into your big picture. So what I talked about in step 1 of this training, really, and we get really detailed on how you can get really clear and answer those 3 questions that we talked about. In module 2, we start to get really organized. You create an editorial calendar. You find some great ways to come up with content ideas and more, set goals and all of that good stuff. In module 3, you start to get stuck in and we get creative, and this is where you start to actually create your blog post. So we look at copywriting, creating headlines, creating images, and all of the good stuff that goes into actually creating an awesome blog post. And then in module 4, you start getting out there. So we look at promotion and how you can get your post and your blog out there and actually reaching your ideal readers. And then finally in module 5, getting it right. And that's where you get the tools to really take what you've learned in the first 4 modules and continue to make progress with your blog. And so let's talk time and money. So this course, my plan is that this course is basically going to help you to get where you want faster. It's going to give you a strategy that you can follow, really actionable steps and tips that you can start doing straight away and seeing results. So you could carry on and figure all of it out for yourself, and you probably will figure it all out for yourself, but that takes time. You could sign up for one-to-one coaching with me, and 6 sessions of one-to-one coaching will set you back £900. Or you could sign up for blogging class, and a blogging class will be £197. So for that, you get the self-study course, so you get immediate access to all of those modules and lifetime access to the modules, and of course to the Facebook group. You also get a bonus. So I also am throwing in to the package a video training that I've created on how you can create a lead magnet. And that video training takes you all the way through what a lead magnet is, the types of lead magnet you can create, how to actually create one using a tool called Canva, and then how to set it up. So creating a landing page, hooking it up to your email service, and getting it so that it is ready to go and start collecting subscribers. So I will throw that in for free. So you could do that for £197, or I also have a new membership site which is just launching. We've been going through beta testing for the last couple of months, and in that site you will get full access to your to blogging class, and in fact to all of my other courses. You will also get access to fortnightly mastermind calls, to monthly live Q&As in our private Facebook group, to one-to-one hot seat calls, and a whole lot more. And that is just for $19.99 per month. That's an introductory offer. I will be increasing that price in a couple of months, but anyone who signs up now will keep that price forever. So now is the time. So just a quick comparison. You've got blogging class. So you can just buy it as a one-off self-study course. You will get lifetime access, and you get the blogging class private Facebook group. That's $197. Or you can sign up now for $19.99 to your business lounge, and that's a monthly membership community. So you will get access to blogging class for as long as you are a member, and you will also get access to all my other courses in there. And you get the mastermind calls, the Q&As, the coaching calls, and all of that good stuff. So $19.99 is an intro offer. In a couple of months, I'll be doing a relaunch at a higher price. So if you sign up now, you get to keep your $19.99 subscription forever. Well worth it. So any questions? Kate, thank you, Kate. That's really kind. If you're watching in the replay, don't worry, you haven't missed out on the chance to ask me questions. Do just pop them in the comments. I will also be leaving links to both blogging class and to your business lounge. So if you are interested in getting more information or for signing up, then the links, I will pop those in the comments as well. I'm not seeing any questions, so I shall leave it there, and let me just come out of here so that I can see you again. I think if I could get rid of that, and here I am again. So I hope you found that helpful. Like I say, if you're watching this in the replay, still plenty of time for questions. Do let me know, and I shall speak to you soon. So take care. Bye.